Welcome to Using Interlibrary Loan for Genealogy. The goal of this class is to introduce you to the various features of interlibrary loan and its use in genealogical research. While the examples and procedures covered in this class apply to MCPL customers, many local libraries also offer interlibrary loan service. If you are attending this class from outside the greater Kansas City area, check your local library systems to see if they participate in ILL and to learn more about their procedures, policies, and fees. Interlibrary loan provides a way for customers to borrow resources from libraries and archives outside their local library systems. Not all resources can be attained through ILL, and generally speaking, requests for resources owned by a large number of different lending libraries are much more likely to be filled than requests for scarce resources only available in a few locations. More options equals more success with having your interlibrary loan request filled. Just a couple of notes about MCPL's ILL policies. If you are not an MCPL customer, these are topics to discuss with your local library about their ILL program if they have one. MCPL does not charge our customers for this service, but the lending library, not Mid-Continent, sets the terms of the loans, including fees, and policies vary from library to library. If the lender charges a loan fee for an ILL resource, our ILL department will contact you to authorize the fee before the loan is finalized. You must have a current MCPL account, whether public, student, paid, or research, to utilize this ILL service. Blocked and barred accounts are ineligible. Materials borrowed by MCPL through ILL have a 2-week loan period. We'll discuss renewal options in detail in a moment. If you are considering requesting a resource through interlibrary loan, your first step should be to check your library's holdings or catalog. You might be surprised to find that the resource you are looking for is already available through your own library. Once you've verified that your resource is not available through your library system, you're ready to search in WorldCat. The WorldCat database contains more than 50 million records, including books, musical scores, audiovisual materials, and more. It is run by OCLC, that is the Online Computer Library Center, a nonprofit organization. The image on the right of the screen is from mymcpl.org, the Mid-Continent Public Library website homepage. MCPL customers, if you are placing your own request, the next steps in the ILL process will begin here, but you can also ask any branch staff for assistance with this process if you are not comfortable submitting your own online request. Note that either way, you will need to have your library card number handy. You will be prompted to enter this number at some point in the process. Shown here is the WorldCat basic search screen. This is step 3 in the ILL request process. This WorldCat form allows you to search for a keyword or topic, an author or a title, or to search by ISBN number or publication year. In this example, we've started a basic title search for the book Irish Migrants in Canada's. We could fill in additional information about this book, but if we don't know the author or the publication year, we can just enter a title and see what shows up. Notice the search button below the form. After filling in the form, you'll need to click here to continue. WorldCat offers ILL customers a variety of resources such as books, CDs, and DVDs, but not periodicals or internet resources, like the top results shown here beside the globe icon. The results for Irish Migrants in the Canadas has turned up 2 book icon options, one with 370 lending libraries and another with 119 lending libraries. More options equals more success. Our chances of getting this resource through ILL are very good, but if only a few libraries owned this book, we would be much less likely to have our ILL request accepted and filled. The middle entry indicates that MCPL, our home library, has the 1988 edition of this book, so MCPL customers would not want to request this particular book through ILL unless they wanted the newer edition, like the 2004 edition shown in the third entry below. For today's Step 4, we are going to select that 2004 publication by clicking on the blue title. Step 5. Once you select the resource you want to request from the list of results, you'll click on an ILL shaking hands symbol located at both the top and the bottom of the page. Or you can click on Borrow this item from another library within the resource's detailed records section to proceed. The final step in the ILL request process is to enter your information on the request form. Make sure you fill in all starred fields, as these are required, such as name, phone number, and library card information. Email is optional but highly encouraged because it does help to facilitate the notification process if your request is canceled. Finally, don't forget to select a pickup location. For MCPL customers, this can be any MCPL branch, but not headquarters, which is the default setting. Family Search users, have you ever wanted to review a Family Search resource that was not available on FamilySearch.org in a format you could view online? Perhaps the resource was a protected book, microfilm, displaying a microfilm reel icon which indicates that it can only be viewed in Salt Lake City, a print resource that displays a call number for the Salt Lake City location. On the Family Search page, click View this catalog record in WorldCat for other possible copy locations. In this case, Rella Bright Evans' Wills and Administrations of Boone County, Missouri, 1821 to 1870, can be found in 46 libraries, including MCPL and KCPL if you are in the Kansas City metro area. Next step, visit an owning library or place an ILL request through WorldCat for this resource. Now that you've submitted your request, what happens next? Some ILL requests, such as those that are not readily available from regional lenders, can take quite some time to process. Please make only one request per title. Duplicate requests slow down the process. Your library's WorldCat offers you the option of creating your own WorldCat account, which will enable you to see if your request is pending, shipped, received, and by that I mean received by the ILL department, not your branch, or if the ILL item has been returned. We ask that MCPL customers opting to create a WorldCat account set it up through the library's WorldCat link, using your MCPL card number as your username and your library PIN as the password. Since policies vary from library to library, this is certainly another procedure to check with your local library. One more note to MCPL customers. Unlike holds placed on resources within the MCPL system, your ILL hold request will not show up on your account until headquarters receives the item from the vendor. Think of it this way. It is only a request until that request is accepted and sent by the lending library. Once it's received by the ILL department, your request becomes an actual hold, and ILL holds displays in capital letters in your MCPL profile. Once processed by the ILL department, your hold is sent to the branch you designated on the request form, and you'll be notified of its availability as you would be for any other in-system hold. Earlier, you heard that the lending library sets the conditions for the interlibrary loan, and that also applies to your loan's renewal options. If you decide that you need a bit more time with your interlibrary loan, follow your library's procedures for requesting an extension. For MCPL customers, this means making sure you place your renewal request with an MCPL staff member before the original due date for the material. Staff will then send this request on to the Mid-Continent ILL department at headquarters, who will then contact the lending library to see if your loan can be renewed. We allow you to keep the material while this renewal request is pending without accruing additional fines. Sometimes situations like the examples shown here will cause an ILL request to be denied. MCPL customers, if your ILL request is canceled, you will most likely be notified through our workflows system, either by email or phone, based on your MCPL account preferences. At this point, you can resubmit your request through WorldCat. If there are multiple lenders for items you want, you may find success. If you are unable to borrow a print resource through ILL, your next best option might be to search for an electronic or digitized copy of this resource to view on a tablet or computer. Each of these sites on this slide cover a wide range of topics and subjects, and with the exception of some Google Books, they can all be accessed at no cost. Changing gears, let's talk microfilm and microfiche, aka microform, which can also be borrowed through ILL from other lending libraries across the United States. The first step is the same for both microform and print resources. Confirm that the resource you want is not already available at your local library. MGC customers, shown on the left is a portion of the Resources for Genealogy and Family History page of the MGC website. It is accessed through the path shown below the title on this slide. MGC homepage, Resources, Browse Resources. This list is where you check the MGC Microform Holdings Guides, that is, where you go to find out what microform is already available at MGC. From military records to census records to Native American records and passenger lists. These guides will give you an idea of the extensive collection of film and fiche that is immediately available for viewing at MGC. Also on this list is a section entitled Borrowing Microfilm Not Owned by MGC. Select this box to access the form needed to request microfilm through the ILL process. As an example, let's talk newspapers. Libraries commonly offer a variety of newspaper databases to their customers. The MGC website, for example, houses more than 24 newspaper databases, and the MGC Microform collection includes filmed newspapers from still more locations and dates. You can view the MGC Newspapers on Microform Holdings Guide on the MGC website by following the Resources, Browse Resources path to the list shown here again. Remember to start by learning what's already available. That's step 1. Step 2. If your research requires a newspaper or other microfilm resource that is not available at your local library, your next step will be to request this resource through ILL. MGC customers, this can be done online on the same list in the section entitled Borrowing Microfilm Not Owned by MGC. Simply complete this Google Doc and click Submit to request these microfilm or fiche resources through ILL. Please fill in this form as completely as possible to expedite your request. MGC staff will forward your film requests promptly, but it can take 2 to 4 weeks for WorldShare, the library-to-library side of WorldCat, to connect the film request with an available lending library. While you wait for your ILL microfilm loan to arrive, MCPL cardholders might check out some of the MCPL newspaper databases, which cover the U.S. and countries around the world. These can be accessed on the MGC website by selecting Resources, Browse Resources, Newspaper Databases. There are also a number of excellent online newspaper databases, such as the Library of Congress's Chronicling America, Ancestor Hunt, Cindy's List, and a variety of state and local historical societies like Missouri Digital Heritage, shown on this slide. FamilySearch.org also offers full text of some periodical titles. And here's a tip. A catalog search for your periodical will likely yield more results than a book search for the same resource. Once again, if your initial request goes unfilled, you still have options, but unlike WorldCat requests for print resources, there is no real benefit to resubmitting an ILL microfilm request through your library. WorldShare libraries either have the resource and share it, or they deny the request because they don't, and this outcome is very unlikely to change with a new request. Instead, try contacting local libraries or genealogical societies to see what they have available online, or to see if they will do a lookup for you. Finally, we've split our time addressing ILL in general and providing specifics for our MCPL customers. For those of you outside of our service area, this one's specifically for you. As shown here, MGC has over 23,000 books in our circulating collection, and we loan these books out to customers across the U.S. through the ILL process discussed in this presentation. Start your search at MidwestGenealogyCenter.org in the search field shown on this slide. You can search by title, topic, author, and more. Using the filters that will appear to the left of your search results, you can even limit your results to only circulating resources. In other words, have the computer display only books that are eligible for ILL. Once you find your resource, go back through your own library's ILL process to request that the resource be sent to you. Of course, if a road trip to MGC is in your future, you could also use this search to view our entire collection of published resources to help you plan your next visit to MGC. Thank you for watching this tutorial on using Interlibrary Loan for genealogy. Please feel free to contact us by phone or email with any questions you may have. We are open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. We hope to see you soon.